Whoa, yeah, swear to God I'm with it. I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Whoa, please don't be wasting my time.
What is up, my friends? Welcome back to a new and another episode of Dr. Yawgmoth's Clinic, where we pilot the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth in the format Modern, and we walk you through different matchups, letting you know the intricacies to those matchups, how to win, how not to lose, whatever it is, we tell you how to do it. Deck list today, if you looked at the intro to this video, a little bit different. Kind of the list I'm moving towards with some testing. 3 Wall Roots, 1 Prosperous Innkeeper. I'm running 1 Gilded Goose, consideration for life gain. Sideboard is in flux right now. I've got 2 Phyrexian Crusaders, which I am testing for the second league now today. So far 4-1 with the list. So let's see if we can keep a good thing going. Opening hand. Opening hand's a little bit suspect, but because we have Court of Calling, I think I'm going to keep this one. We are on the draw as well. This hand's a little slow. I don't know what our opponent's playing, but we're going to give this a try. This is like a very borderline hand, so an inch to the left, inch to the right might have been a mulligan. Looks like we're playing against Amulet Titan. Opponent is on a 7-card hand. I don't think this hand lines up particularly well against Amulet Titan, assuming that's what we're playing against. That makes it a little bit better. Having some ramp here will give us a shot at least. So this matchup, generally game 1 goes to the person who's on the play. Oh, we're playing against Escape Shift, which I do not think is a very good matchup. We're going to lean very heavy on our Necromentia's post board. We are drawing all of the Blooming Marshes. Because we can run out So we might not even be using this Grist this game, because they're kind of like a combo deck. I think what I'm going to do is play out the Young Wolf, evoke the Endurance, Court Calling for another Young Wolf, play out Yawgmoth next turn, and then try to kill them. I think that's our line to win this game. We need to drive fast, so that's what we're going to try to do. This could also, I don't know the list too well, but Bring to Light, 5-color Bring to Light, or 4-color Bring to Light, whatever it is. This could also potentially be that. Which is also probably not a great matchup. This might be that. Let's see if they cast a Bring to Light this turn. Yeah, I'm guessing this is what it is. Apparition. I'm not exactly sure what this is now. So I think we're gonna have a little change of plans. I think I'm gonna chord for Dryad Arbor. Actually, that kind of hurts us. We can't get Dryad. I mean, we can get Dryad Arbor, but because we have Blooming Marsh, it will come into play tapped. This kind of ruins our plans here. This is really unfortunate. I'm not sure what our opponent is doing here. I'm guessing this is some sort of Escape Shift guy. Kind of all over the place though up to this point. Alright, so we can still chord for a 1-drop. This is a tough choice. think we're gonna get our Dryad Arbor. I don't feel great about this, but I think it's our best play right now. It was a tough choice. Right, so we got lucky and drill land. So we'll play out our Misty, fetch a basic forest, play out our Yawgmoth, and then pass the turn. So I think if we get another turn, we should be in a position where we can win. We're close to it. Endurance is going to be really nice here too, because it gives us an extra 2 draws as opposed to 1, so it kind of like almost cycles for itself for the cost of 2 life. Our opponent's on 2 cards right now. The thing that's throwing me off here is the Apparition. I don't think that's a card that's normally played in like a Bring to Light type deck. It seems like an unusual addition. Their mana is kind of all over the place. Wargate, what in the mana value extra last put it onto the battlefield and then shuffle. I am super confused what our opponent is doing. I've never even seen that card before. Okay, Tameshi. Alright. Return a land you control the owner's hand. Return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X from your graveyard. Alright, so they're going to get kind of blown out here because we have Endurance. So I think they're going to be a little disappointed. They'll pay for the activation. I think we're going to be able to wipe their board. One more non-creature permanents or return to hand. Draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn, so they're going to draw a card. I wonder if we can just kill... I've never actually played against this deck before, so this is... okay, that's pretty good too. So I think we cast, exile the other Endurance. They might even scoop here. We'll get rid of the Apparition because it will give us an extra creature on the battlefield. I think we're in pretty good shape here. Yeah, I think we should be able to win from here. I think. I think they're dead. I know I said that already. So I'm pretty sure this is like a, they have, alright, so that makes it pretty straightforward. They have Amulet in the deck, or I've seen lists with Amulet in the deck, and I've also seen lists with Primeval Titan, which makes sense if they have Amulet. Alright, so we got game 1. Very unusual. So if they're playing Amulets, I think we want Crime Punishment. They're using their graveyards, so I think we're going to bring in our Graveyard 8. I think we want a lot of stuff. I'm going to pretty much board as if this is Amulet Titan, and maybe even a little bit more liberally because of their graveyard synergies. I think we're going to shave on Court of Callings and Grists. I don't think Geist is very good. I think Wall of Roots is medium. We still have a lot of cards we gotta cut. We're gonna cut a Goose. Maybe we'll bring in 4 endurance and no ooze. I want to keep 1 grist just in case we need to answer a Primeval Titan. I think we can get rid of Patra here. I need to shave 1 more. Like, I'm making a lot of assumptions here, bringing in the Force of Vigors. We didn't see any Karoo lands, any bounce. Is that what they're called? Karoo lands? Maybe I'll shave a Crime Punishment, just because we didn't really see any of those. Maybe I'll shave 2. Like, if they're running Amulet, we're probably in... If they're not running Amulet, it's like a dead card, so... Maybe we'll keep Hepatra in. No, Hepatra doesn't seem very good. Maybe an extra cord. Extra wall. Okay, we'll try it like that. We'll see how this goes. This is a complete shot in the dark. I think these lists that people are playing with this deck are kind of all over the place. The only reason I've had any exposure to this deck, I know people have been talking about it, but there's somebody at my local that plays his own version of it. And actually I did play against him, so I lied, I've had experience against this deck, but never really did his thing, so. We're waiting on our opponent. Eagerly awaiting. So with Necromentia, I guess the name would be Tameshi? Is that what it is? I don't know the full name of the card. I'm gonna look it up right now. Tameshi Reality Architect. I'm wondering, like, Primeval Titan, I would assume they're playing Primeval Titan. Okay. This hand doesn't really do too much, but we can interact with their graveyard, and it's pretty fast, and we have a redraw with a peat land. I think it's risky, but I think we're going to keep it. We're on the draw too, so we get an extra draw step. And I feel like on the draw, the type of hand we want is one that has a lot of ramps. So, while it doesn't look like much right now, a couple of turns, we might have a pretty formidable board state. So, well, top of our deck needs to be kind to us. As it usually does, you know. See what happens. So I think we boarded in like 10 or 11 cards. Endurance is one of the cards we boarded in. Where do I want this? I want this over here. Seeing Lotus Blooms takes me back to the days when Ad Nauseam was a thing, which is a deck I played for a little while. Another bird. Not ideal. Alright. I don't know if they have any way to wipe the board. Like engineered explosives maybe or something like that, but that would be pretty devastating if we played out all of our mana creatures. So we need to be conscious and careful. I feel like engineered explosives would be a card that this deck would play. Triumph. Down tick the bloom. Just gonna F6 through the turn, let them do their worst. I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. That works for me. Bird in the Hierarch. And we'll pass the turn. Court of Calling was a really good draw as well. There's a chance we keep this extra bird in our hand just to have it on hand for Endurance. We're going to have a Lotus Bloom next turn. Apparition's kind of annoying. It's kind of like a mid-range deck with like a combo element to it, I guess. I'll play another bird, and I think we're gonna flash in the Endurance, depending on what happens with that Lotus Bloom. If they do have Primeval Titan, they will be able to play it. So we shall see. Fingers crossed a Primeval Titan does not hit the board this turn. But they don't really have too much they can do with it right now. And we can always get a Grist next turn. It's 5 mana. Let's see what they're doing at 5. Finale of Devastation for 3. I think that's just a tutor for a 3-drop. I don't know. Tameshi. Okay. We have. Let me make sure I didn't yield. Okay, so draw a card. I'm trying to bring the Bloom back, and we will. We're gonna fetch Shock here, just because I want to fix my mana, and we're gonna cast our Endurance. There's their land drop. I think we're doing alright here. Alright, another Endurance isn't bad. And now we can actually get ourselves a Yawgmoth, the Tameshi. I think we might get a Yawgmoth next turn. Or EOT. Like we might let them. I think we're gonna play reactively here. I think we're gonna wait to see what they do. Is potentially they could get themselves another. Yeah, I think they're gonna get another Lotus Bloom here. So we're gonna eat the Lotus Bloom with the Endurance, and then we'll kill the Tameshi on the next turn. So we'll draw a card first. Once again, targeting that. We are back in just a moment. All my cards are coming back to life here. We are casting our Endurance in response to them acting the Tameshi. Alright, we're back. Still alive. We should be in pretty good shape next turn. Could sacrifice the Peatland, but I think I want the extra mana to be able to do stuff with. Grist, 1, 2, 3. So we're 1 mana short of being able to Grist and being able to Chord for Yawgmoth. So I think we just go. Sideboard for 4. Get a Yawgmoth. Now I wonder if we can kill both the Apparition and the Tameshi. Or I think we can put counters on both of them, hope to draw another black source, and then proliferate. Maybe that's our game plan. So let's start by minusing on the Tameshi. Alright, there's our black source. I think we'd rather get rid of the Endurance here. Alright, we got another Endurance, that's good. Maybe we cancel that. Maybe we just eat the Apparition and then eat the Tameshi. I think that's probably better. Alright, that's fine. Now we have the Endurance if we need it. They really don't have a board state, and we also have Force of Vigor up as well. So if they cast another, who knows what, we'll have an answer to it. We have 5 cards in hand. Teferi. Okay, Teferi's fine. We're going to bounce our Yawgmoth. Alright, Yawgmoth is pretty good. So we're going to lead on the Wolf, cast a Yawgmoth, and then pass the turn. And our hope is we can kill the Teferi. Like, potentially if they have Tameshi and another way to get another bloom, they could beat us this turn. So there's a call. Another Skyclave Apparition. So we're going to get to draw a card at least. Back our Yawgmoth. They have 4 cards in hand. This is all fine. Life total's getting a little low. That's fine. Swing down the Teferi to start with. I don't think we have Scavenging Ooze in the deck, which would actually be pretty good right now. Alright, Teferi's down, which is good. I guess the question is, do we flash in the Endurance here and now? I think there's a consideration to flashing in and target ourselves. I think I'll do that. No. I was thinking that Teferi's effect was still there. We don't have to worry about it. You can also draw a card with the Peat Land if need be. It's looking like the Force of Vigor is probably not going to do too much. Four mana. Every card they play is a surprise. I have no idea what anything's going to be. hopefully this is as much of a surprise to you as it is to me. This apparition is on the battlefield. We can also fetch our Dried Arbor. There's 4 mana. This is an X spell. X equals 2. Let's see what they get. So they opted not to get Tameshi. Obviously, they don't have the Lotus Bloom, so it's not as good. Okay, so they're gonna get the Bloom again, I'm assuming. There it is. And we're going to shuffle that back in. We have Endurances galore. And then I guess the question is, do I want to get a Dried Arbor as well? I think I do, because we're likely going to be getting ourselves a Yawgmoth on this turn. Alright, so there's the combo. Alright, so we'll start by swinging these two. We'll just swing here. We'll hit for 3. Endurance is going away. Get ourselves another Yawgmoth. Alright, nice scoop. Alright, so not the matchup I anticipated playing against. I think there's some pretty significant variation in terms of the way that deck is built. Very different than the past experience I had playing against that style of deck. But, you know, they're trying to use the graveyard to combo off. It seemed like they're pretty all in on the combo. You know, we do really well against decks that rely heavily on the graveyard. 5 cards that deal with that sort of thing, plus all of our tutors. So we handled them pretty handily, I guess. So I don't have a lot of input on the matchup, unfortunately, but yeah, just cast Endurance and it seems like that does the job. With that being said, I am checking out for this episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the deck I played against, about the lines that I took, about anything that's on your mind. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Additionally, there are resources in the description below. There's a sideboard guide, there's a condensed version that you can put into your deck box for tournaments. There's also a stat sheet that gives you all the stats that I've had since, I don't know, the last 4 months playing this deck. So you can kind of get an idea of different matchups and different deck lists in terms of what's performing well and what's not. And lastly, as per a suggestion from one of our viewers, I have started a Patreon. The link to my Patreon is in the description below. And if you want to support me, if you want to support this channel, feel free to head over there and make a charitable donation. All of my resources are free. I'm not charging for anything, but if you use those resources, you find value in them, and you want to support the channel further, feel free to head over to Patreon. Any amount, always appreciated. I'm going to be putting any donations towards resources to be able to put out better content in the process of trying to get a new computer, so likely the funds will go towards that. So that being said, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is Brandon Osborne, aka Control4Daze. I will see you guys next time. Until then.